Hello everybody, Oisachi Buddy. Long time no see. I hope you're doing well. As you might be able to hear from my voice, I'm a little under the weather today. I've got a cold, and this is the reason I'm making this video. I don't think I've ever talked about this on camera before in my long list of living in Japan videos. I don't get sick that often, but I'm at a new school and it's kind of going around the school, and that happens sometimes when you're an ALT or a teacher. You know, you'll just end up getting sick just like everybody else in the staff room or whatever. So, I started to get sick on Thursday, and I had some medicine from a previous time I had been sick. And I took that, and then Friday I had to go to school. We were doing some prep for some stuff that was happening Saturday, and I had a class to teach. But I worked like a half day. I left early. And it ended up being a good choice because my coworker said they ended up staying until like 6:30 that night getting ready. And we had what was called open school yesterday on Saturday. So I teach pretty much every other Saturday, and this is a special one where students from other schools can come to our school, especially say if they're in 5th or 6th grade in elementary school and they're about to start junior high soon, or they're 9th graders at another junior high and they want to see about our high school. They can check out our clubs, they can go to lessons and see what the level is like, obviously check out the building, see some of the teachers, etc. And we give out all kinds of promotional materials. So we had that going on Saturday, and I really couldn't miss it. I had to be part of an opening ceremony quiz thing where all the foreign teachers are kind of paraded out because, we have a lot. We have 12, and that's quite a bit for a private school, a high school. And then I had to teach a demo lesson, so that's not an interactive lesson, but just a lesson where I'm teaching my normal students, and in the back of the class, people can come and go. They can walk in, watch for 5 minutes, 6 minutes, 10 minutes, 1 minute, and then go to somewhere else and just kind of see what's going on. So I think a lot of people came in and they only watched for 2 or 3 minutes, and they realized, wow, this teacher is speaking entirely in English. The students are responding entirely in English. The worksheets are all in English. It's not easy English. It's pretty high level. We were talking about vegetarianism and animal rights for a half an hour. And, my 7th graders, I only have 4 of them, but their English is very high level, probably better than a lot of the university students I taught, believe it or not. So I had to do that. So I had to be there. So again, Friday was the worst. Friday, it's the cycle of a cold. You get the runny nose, and then you get the stuffed up, and then you get the cough, and Friday was the runny nose. So I was just constantly, going through boxes of Kleenex at school, and you're supposed to wear a medical mask in Japan if you've got a cold, so you don't give it to other people. And I just hate those things, and I wasn't wearing one, and some teachers were kind of like giving me the dirty look. Anyway, so the thing that really prompted me to make this video was my trip to the drugstore last night, or my attempted trip to the drugstore. So I got home on Saturday after open school. I got to leave a little early. I should have been there until about 1 to say goodbye to the kids when they left, but my boss let me leave at about 11. I came home. I had gotten no sleep the night before, so I just crashed out. Woke up, made some food, sat on the couch, watched a little bit of The 100. I'm in season 3. So good. And then I was like, I need to go. I went through, I only had 2 doses left of the previous medicine. I'm like, I pretty much need to take like one more round of medicine to really get this through my system. I was wheezing a lot, and it was just really, phlegmy, and it's really fun for me to talk about, right? Sorry about that. But, so I thought, there's a discount drugstore near my apartment. I don't know my new town that well. I've only lived here 4 months. I'm pretty sure they're open from 9 a.m. to 10 p.m. Well, I drove up there at about 9:15. I put some clothes on, got in my car, and it was the opposite. They were open from 10 a.m. to 9 p.m., so they were closed. And the weird thing that you'll find when you come and live in Japan is that drugs and I'm talking about this kind of stuff, cold medicine, aspirin, over-the-counter type remedies are not available in a lot of grocery stores or convenies, convenience stores, unfortunately. So I didn't know where to go. The grocery store near me is 24 hours, which is great. But I knew they wouldn't, if you go down an aisle, they'll have like shampoo and, they'll have cosmetics and things like that, but they won't have any kind of medicine. Kusuri, as it's called here in Japan, and it's really a separate thing. You'll go into some stores and the kusuri will be in like a separate section. Like after you go through the checkout, there'll be a few little stores. Maybe there's a dry cleaner and a little kusuriya, which is just a little pharmacy, and they'll have all the medicines. Or I've even been into some stores where they have a kusuri section, and then they rope it off and put like nets over everything so you can't enter that area after say 10 p.m. or something. Because the pharmacist on duty or whatever goes home or is off duty, and I guess they feel like they can't sell it. It's probably some kind of Japanese law that I'm unaware of, but that's the way it is. So I went to the kombini near my house because I knew where that was, and I just wanted some clear liquids, some tea, and some orange juice. And I'm like looking around, and they had like Hall's throat lozenges, and they had a few things, but I'm like, kaze no kusuri wa, doku desu ka? Arimasu ka? Do you have this? Where is it? Do you have cold medicine? And the nice old lady at the kombini at like, 10 o'clock at night, it's like, chotto, she gave me that one. And then she walks me over and they have some like vitamin drinks and everything. And she's like, we really don't have cold medicine. Sorry. We really only have like throat drops and, vitamin C drinks and stuff. But then she said, the one thing we do have is these. And I don't know if you can read Japanese, so there's kaze, that's the word for cold, and nodo. Nodo is the word for throat, and you can tell it was even worse last night. And so it's a little bottle of 30 milliliters of liquid, and it's supposed to have, all these things in it. And there was, the regular, which was like 300 yen. This one with a G, which was 600 yen. And then another one, which was 900 yen. That's almost $10 for a one-shot, gulp me down. So I'm like, kanji yomimasen, sumimasen, dochira osusume wa, which one do you recommend? And she's like, oh, well, tell me, what hurts and what's bad. And I said, well, my runny nose has stopped, but my throat still hurts, nodo itai. And she's like, oh, maybe this one. And I'm like, okay. So I bought it, $6. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go home and I'll just drink this, and hopefully it'll do the trick. Sometimes if you can't read kanji and stuff, you're just stuck, in Japan. You have to kind of trust people or, so I went online and I looked up, there's some really good lists online of like good over-the-counter Japanese medicines, and I actually took my phone and I took like a picture of the page, and I'm like, there's got to be another like, Wellness is a big brand here of a chain store. There's got to be some other place where I can get medicine. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to drive around for 10 minutes. I'm going to go down some of the big streets that I haven't really gone down before, that are off the main street that's near my house. And sure enough, after about driving for about 8 minutes, I came across a Zigzag. was the name of the place. It was open to 11 p.m. Open to 11 p.m. And kusuri is almost always spelt with hiragana, kusuri. So it's easy to read. It's on big letters on the front of the side. So I knew it was a drugstore. So I went in there, and there's a guy in a white coat. So he's like the pharmacist. And again, I was like, do you have cold medicine? He took me down the aisle, and he starts just rapid fire Japanese. Like, well, what's the problem? What do you got? Oh, did your runny nose stop? Is it still going? What do you need? So he recommended this. And, again, he's like, mostly because you have a sore throat, this is like really good for your throat, and blah, blah, blah. And obviously it does all these amazing things. Look at that packaging, it does. Have a guess. Have a guess how much. There's 45 pills in here. You're supposed to take 3 at a time, 3 times a day. So obviously it's going to last you more than one cold cycle, but how much do you think this is? almost 1,600 yen, almost $16, like 15.50, just for this. And then I'm like, well, I should probably buy some Tylenol too. I don't have a fever and everything, but it's not bad to have on hand. And these are fairly big pills. There's only 10 of them in here, but I think they're 500 milligram each. No, 300 mg each. But just for 10 Tylenol, 10 300 milligram Tylenol, how much? 700 yen. So over-the-counter medicines in Japan are really expensive. Like I said, this was like 600 yen. It's so if you can bring stuff from home, it's good to do. Like one thing I haven't really found is antacids. So every now and then I have someone send me Rolaids, or if they go to America, I'll have them bring me back Rolaids. I don't really need them that often anymore. Or Alka-Seltzer is something I haven't really found an equivalent here in Japan. So these are easy to bring. I haven't been home to America in 2 years, so normally I would stock up. But I would buy like some Tylenol or Advil or Bufferin or something, and bring it back with me. I just haven't been home. And or like NyQuil. NyQuil make like gel caps and stuff. I ran out a year ago or so, and so now I'm having to use Japanese medicines. But to be honest, this one and the one I took before did work fairly well. And my cold has pretty much gone away in like 3 days. But it's expensive, and so just be careful. You can't just walk into a konbini and expect to be able to just buy Tylenol. They don't have Tylenol and stuff at the konbini. You have to be able to go to a drugstore. And if you live in a big city, and I'm sure in Tokyo, there's 24-hour drugstores. But if you get out to the more semi-rural like I am, or where I used to live in Shimane, they close, and there's not sections in the grocery store and stuff. So it can be difficult to buy medicine, at random times of the night, etc. So it's good to have a little bit in your house in case you need it. All right, well, that was pretty much what I want to talk about. I got to do so much work today. This is my book. I've got The Move to Global War. So as you can see, this is an IB book, IB diploma there, and that's what my school offers, the International Baccalaureate. So my teacher homework for me this weekend is I have to work out my units for the very first semester of year 11 for my 10th graders now, which won't start until next April. But I have to submit it for approval and, see that it meshes with what they'll be learning in Japanese history class and stuff like that. So this job is working me. There's no doubt about it. Right back from vacation, it was a 6-day work week, Monday through Saturday. And then this week coming up is another 6-day work week. And but we've got our Cosmos Festival, I think it's called. It's basically our Bunkasai, our culture festival coming up. And in high school, it's a pretty big deal. The kids set up stalls, and they sell things, and they do performances, and it's more involved than it is necessarily at junior high. And it's a 2-day event, and it takes place later in September, and so we're going to have a lot of preparation for that. Anyway, okay, just checking in, just wanted to say hello. I'm still around. I am alive, even though I'm very snuffleupagus. So I hope you're having a better weekend than I am. I'm just hanging out here on Sunday. I'm going to watch some more 100, and I need to go to the grocery store, but it's not happening today. I'll try to go when on my way home tomorrow. And, that's part of living alone. You got to just take care of everything for yourself. So, there's no one that's, honey, run out to the store and get me this or that. You can't do that. You're the honey. You're the person that's got to do it. So, anyway, things are going well, though, at school. I'm enjoying it. My kids are pretty awesome for the most part, and my coworkers are really cool. So I'm overall very happy I made this change, despite the fact that I've gotten a cold now. All right, guys, take care of yourselves. Don't get a cold. Eat an orange or something, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay, peace.